Tara here from Carbo Coaching, providing some training for the Elements of Successful Change tool. Change is challenging. Yeah. And this is really pointing to the complexity of change and that there are multiple different components that we need to pay attention to when we're either forced into change or creating change, organizational change on purpose. This tool goes hand in hand with the project design tool. So if you haven't gone over and watched the project design tool training, this is kind of like a sister document to that one in a way. If you look across the top bar, you will see our ingredients list for change. So we need a strong, clear vision. We need to know what our skills are. We need to have incentives in place. We need to know what our resources are. We need to have an action plan. And if we have those 5 things, then change is going to be successful. So in each of the rows below, we will see along the right-hand side some symptoms, right? We have false start experience. We have the experience of frustration, of gradual change, anxiety, and confusion. All feelings I am sure that we have experienced at one time or another, so we know what that feels like. And what we're going to do is look and say, you know what? I'm feeling confused for whatever reason. Let me go back to my tool of elements of successful change and look at what might be missing that has me feeling confused. So we come over here and see, okay, vision is missing, which would make sense. If we can't see, then we don't know where we're going, and that would cause the sense of confusion. Seems simple enough. And it is simple when we break it down this way, and that's my favorite thing. Yeah, I often feel like if a tool is made well, it's simple. Right? Someone once said, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. So this is our short letter. We can come down and say, all right, I'm feeling the team is anxious. We can come over and say, okay, we might need some training. What skills are we actually missing? This tool is almost like a cyclical tool, right? So let's say we have merged with another company, and the other company was offering products that we didn't currently use or sell. And now we're selling all the stuff that we used to use, but we're selling some additional ones that this other company we merged with sold. And we knew how to run a small team of 10, but now there's 30 of us, and we knew how to sell and process the things that we were selling before, but now we have these new things, right? So what once worked based on the environment and the game that we were playing, the rules we were playing by, now no longer works because the game rules have changed, right? We have different things on the field, right? So we're going to need some training, because running a warehouse of 25 people versus running a warehouse of 10 is different, right? So when we're feeling anxious, the first place we want to look is, do we need some training? What do we actually not know? What skills are we missing that we need to put in place? So if we go down to gradual change, we'll see that the thing that's missing there is incentives, right? This could be, our teammates getting stagnant. Maybe they're losing inspiration in some way. And when we look at incentives, it doesn't necessarily mean like pizza parties or bonuses, but it could be like progression planning, right? Do I know what is expected of me in order to get my promotion, in order to get my raise or my promotion? So when we don't know what our opportunities for growth are, which might be the incentive, We might get kind of burned out in the position of just kind of spinning our wheels day after day doing the same thing. Something that might support this is cross training, moving people around, giving them different experiences so that they can learn new things and be more competent in other areas of the business. It could mean performance reviews. It could mean doing one-to-ones and taking a look at, performance gaps and, where honestly, feedback given well is exciting and well received, right? Like, okay, tell me what to work on so I can get better, so I can get this raise, or so I can get promoted. So gradual change could be a inspiration or motivation deficiency. So we can take a look at incentives. Frustration might be, oh, you know what, we just don't have what we need. We need another salesperson, or we need another guy back in here doing shipping, or we need another mechanic on the floor. We just don't have all that we need in order to operate at the speed and effective rate that we need to be. And so our guys are burning out. Maybe, we're not able to hit our numbers because we're under resourced. Then we go down to false starts. So what does false start mean? False starts like that start and stop. Like, if we have the vision and we have our skills, we're capable of it, we have our incentives, we understand our growth plan, we have our resources, we got enough men for the job, but we haven't actually broken that vision down into who's going to do what and by when and to what quality, then the action portion of fulfilling on the plan is probably going to look pretty chaotic. And so that will look kind of like that, first start, a false start kind of experience. And so when we see that, I almost feel like, someone driving a stick is probably a bad example. Like trying to get it into first, right? Like just it's stalling out. They just can't get it and they're jerking all over the place is because we actually don't have the plan. We need a plan in place. And for me, I like to look at, again, what I just said of, okay, what are the actions that need to be done? Who's going to do them? To what quality and by when? What are the expectations? What are the accountability structures? Goes into action plans. So people know exactly what's expected of them. Maybe they're co-created to increase buy-in and autonomy, is to allow the team to co-create the action plan. And then they'll take greater ownership of it, right? So if we look at this as a zoomed out, holistic kind of map of all of the different ingredients of what it takes to create successful change, then we can really pinpoint what is causing the breakdowns when change isn't going well. Again, this partners nicely with the project design tool. So if you haven't taken a look at that training video, or if you're not using that tool, that will actually provide a platform for writing out your vision, identifying your skills and resources, and creating an action plan. It doesn't cover incentives specifically, but it covers the other four. So I hope you find this tool valuable. This is a great thing to print out and post up somewhere. So when there are feelings in the building and on the team, you can come over to this tool and it'll already be right there on the wall for you, waiting for you to distinguish what's going on with the team.